All too often, what makes headlines is the sexy curves of a hull, or possibly the new space-age materials used in the creation of the latest mega yacht. Perhaps the modern materials of the sails and the nanotech of the bottom paint may give a boat the last 1/10 of a knot advantage they desperately need. But it's the dedication and teamwork of the crew that do the real heavy lifting in a successful racing campaign. There simply is no success without a cohesive crew all pulling in the same direction.
Hi, my name is Alan Barnes, and I'm a helmsman and tactician for Jam. 6 years ago, I was invited on Jam by a good mate of mine, Mike Michaelis. One thing that's held true is the belief of John McPhail, and that is he never punts people off the road, off the boat. You're more than welcome to come along. We can fit you in. It's an all-inclusive, and that has sort of been John's philosophy, and I think everybody follows philosophy. There's no real rock stars. Maybe there's the odd thumbsucker like myself, but there is no rock stars. Everybody does the best that they can, and they enjoy whether we come first or last. And it's unique. It's very rare these days to have a very unselfish leader like John, and to invite us all on to his wonderful boat.
This is my 5th season on Jam, my 4th Swiftsure. Got on board with Al. He drugged me down one day because I needed someone of bulk at the mast. That's essentially my position at the mast, hoisting, dousing, and when it gets real rough up front and they need some help and we're wave crashing, that's where I go. As far as the boat goes, I mean, you couldn't ask for better crew and a better owner. He treats us really, really well and maintains his boat to a really high standard, so it's a pleasure to sail on it.
I'm Steve. I'm on the middle of the boat. I help handle the sails going up and going down. And to get on the boat, because I'm the worst sailor on the boat, I'm the cook. So that's one of my primary duties.
My name is Jones, and I've been with the boat for about 20 years. We've done 4 trips to Hawaii. We did 2 from Victoria to Maui and 2 from San Francisco to Oahu. We've done a big boat series. We've put miles and miles on this yacht, and the owner, John, is magnificent. I love the man, and I have no problem with that. He's a great guy, and his whole family, and he got involved with my family, and it reciprocated. He's just the most generous person in the whole world.
I've been invited aboard the sailboat Jam to witness just what it takes to compete in a flagship sailing event.
Okay, great. I'm Vern Burkhart, the event chair for the Swiftsure International Yacht Race. We have 176 boats that are participating. They've all have arrived now. We had the skipper's meeting. Everybody's getting excited, ready to go tomorrow morning.
This weekend we'll be competing in the 87th running of Swiftsure. This is one of the largest and most competitive sailing events in the Pacific Northwest.
And away we go.
The start of the race is best described as organized chaos. To the uninitiated, there appears to be no rhyme or reason to the movement of the boats approaching the start. It's only after the starting signal is made that patterns emerge and relative positions established. It's a constant battle between wind and current to try and find the best combination to get us quickly to race rocks.
What we're trying to do is stay in the breeze. The current goes from Trial Island right straight to Race Rocks. If we get out to there, we'll be in more current. So this is kind of our tack to get us out into more breeze and more current, and then we'll tack back. But the key thing is to keep Jam moving. It's a heavy boat, and wind is really critical for us to keep us moving.
At this point, the wind is losing and the current is winning. If we don't get around Race Rocks quickly, we'll be swept back towards Victoria with the flood.
Look at this buoy in front of us. You can see we're ranging down on it like crazy.
Trying to come up with the right strategy to get us quickly around Race Rocks is more of a gut feeling than it is based on facts.
Oh, the bow always has their own opinions, and we try to keep them to ourselves, except occasionally when the back of the boat hears them.
Luckily, this won't be published for about a week, so speak
good.
your mind, then we'll see if you're right or wrong.
Perfect.
Oh, there's no question who's right.
Yeah, the bow is always right.
Yeah.
In their own minds.
We're here first.
Legends.
Four-deck union.
How do you feel sailing this close to the rocks, John?
Well, it goes right up there 50 feet until you're about 3 feet away, so that's not too bad.
Look at the side push on Elusive.
Approaching Race Rocks, it becomes quickly obvious that the current will be working against us and not helping us.
Should get better now.
But it doesn't. Jam gets caught in an area of constant back eddies. The wind fades to nothing and we find ourselves doing circles for over 2 hours. As the breeze fades to almost nothing, the number 1 Genoa is dropped and a drifter is hoisted. We're hoping we can make way through this very light air and strong current. We can't. To make things worse, we're swirling around in a massive kelp bed. The crew works hard to try and keep the keel and rudder from fouling, but it's a futile effort. To try something, anything to get the boat moving, the drifter is doused and the spinnaker hoisted.
We actually went wing on wing with the spinnaker and the main. Pulled us out of it, going backwards. That pushed us back out of it, spun the boat, and that was that.
A steady easterly has built, allowing us to run further down the race course with the spinnaker. About an hour later, the light easterly fades, replaced by a light westerly breeze. The spinnaker is doused and the number 1 Genoa is hoisted. Slow but steady progress continues as the breeze builds to about 10 knots. The tactician and navigator agree that it's best to play the U.S. side of the channel as we make our way northwest. The crew morale remains high, passing the 12-hour mark, having left Race Rocks far in the distance.
Now put the serious look on. There you go.
All right.
Start yelling.
All right, you guys, come on. Pull your bloody socks up, for God's sakes.
Hike you, bitch.
Yeah, hike out there. Let's get this thing.
Sailing this close to the U.S. side of the channel provides some beautiful scenery as well as some tactical advantages. The breeze continues to build, pushing about 15 knots. The number 1 Genoa is doused and the number 3 is hoisted.
Yeah, I just don't want to blow that number 1.
he's not tacking.
As nightfall approaches, the breeze continues to fill and the fog rolls in, setting us up for what is going to be a long, cold night.
Besides about a 2-hour pause at the Race Rocks with the kelp beds, I think it's been a nice day. It's beautiful winds. We've done headsail changes, spinnaker hoists, douses. We just had a nice pulled pork sandwich for dinner, and we're just switching on. And my team has got the 9 to 12 shift, and then John will have the 12 to 3 shift, and then we'll get the 3 to 6 shift. So my challenge is, John's giving me a challenge that we've got 14 miles to Flattery, and he wants the boat around and the chute up before he gets rustled out of bed. So there's our challenge, 14 miles, 3 hours.
Ready to go for the night.
Got enough layers to keep you guys warm?
Got one more layer to add if necessary.
All ready to go.
Good.
A constant lookout is required for other boats as they appear out of the fog with very little notice. Cape Flattery is finally upon us as we round the turning mark and hoist the spinnaker. A routine head sail drop will be the first of the tricky maneuvers done on this nighttime watch. Heavy fog sets in, giving us very little visibility. Other boats continue to appear out of the darkness like ghost ships in the night. The breeze builds to 25 knots, and we make great progress along the Canadian side back towards Race Rocks. At first light, the morning watch awakens to find a beautiful sunrise and Jam surfing through Race Rocks. As John takes the helm for the morning watch, Jam is in her groove, sailing quickly towards Hind Bank. As we approach Hind Bank, the breeze begins to fade, and we know it'll be a slow last beat towards the finish line at Victoria Harbour. With the breeze all but gone, we finally reach our destination and limp across the finish line.
I gotta know. Okay, what is it? 8:46:49.
It's a delicate balance that must be achieved between adrenaline-filled drive and warm, laid-back camaraderie. This crew has experienced a little bit of both over the last several days and emerged once again strengthened by this adventure. It's largely due to the inviting tone set by their skipper John that makes this type of atmosphere possible. Although not the lead boat in this year's Swiftsure, Jam has once again proven themselves a very worthy opponent, while further developing the existing bonds so very necessary for success.